everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday and it is April 30th, so we start our May Day tomorrow. Okay, we have no meetings today, so we'll jump right into who's on our show, and we do have Jeff Parker here with a Laguna Woods update, and he's going to tell us all about our numbers that we are currently looking at in the county. And we have a new resource for you, so we're going to talk about that as well. Then we have Elsie Addington, who is here with the United Update, and she is always quite entertaining, even though she may think it's not exciting. So we'll talk with her a little bit later in our program. All right, our vaccination information is the same as we give you, but we always want to make sure you know where to go. Othina.com is where you can register for the points of distribution here in Orange County. Then you also can go to vaccinefinder.org and you can find where it is in stock, and you can make appointments through whichever location that you choose. You just type in your zip code. And let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. We are warm again today, but we do start to cool down a little bit tomorrow and the next couple of days. And then we warm right back up again. I tell you, this is a roller coaster kind of weather forecasting. So today, lots of sun, 87-59. Tomorrow, warm, 76-56. Then a little cooler, 70-55. Monday, 75-56. And then we go back up to Tuesday on 79-62. And if you are traveling in California, we do have the numbers for you. You can take a look at those. Local beaches are going to be in the average 63-58. Santa Barbara 70-52. San Diego 68-58. High Sierras, wow, have jumped up into the 60s now, 62-35. Big Bear 65-37, and Mammoth 67-30. And Palm Springs is 94 with an overnight of 65. All right, now, today is actually Arbor Day. It's National Arbor Day. Encourages us to celebrate and plant trees. The observance takes place every year the last Friday in April. Trees provide vital protection for the Earth's topsoil from erosion, oxygen, and homes for wildlife. They also are a renewable resource that provides a variety of materials for building, fuel, and office supplies. Trees beautify our environment, provide shade on a sunny day, and improve our quality of life. This day celebrates all these things and aims for American generations to enjoy all the benefits trees have to offer. And our sunrise this morning was at 6:04, and the sunset will be at 7:33. All right, stay tuned, because when we come back, we are going to chat with Jeff Parker. We'll be right back.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
It's time to get more out of your hearing. Whether you're considering hearing aids for the first time or you've been wearing them for years, it's time for more. Oticon's More hearing aid with deep neural networking is a game changer. Join audiologist Ann Mundell-Noel and Dr. Laura Hunt at Amazing Hearing, located in the Trader Joe's Center. We have special offers and incentives through the end of the month. Call today to schedule your free consultation. It's time for more.
Silver
and gold. Consider it sold.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest will buy your gold, diamonds, fine watches, coins, and sterling serviceware, regardless of condition. With metals at an all-time high, now is the time to sell. Visit us in person or shop online from the comfort of home.
Silver and gold. Consider it sold.
At the Jewelry Box, it's about trust.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we have Jeff Parker here. Hi, happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to you.
For some reason, everyone seems very excited that it's Friday today.
Well, and warm weather,
I tell ya.
getting outside, I think all of that combined makes for a nice, pleasant weekend ahead.
Exactly, and I think that, our numbers are looking pretty good, so people feel very hopeful and excited to get out there and do more things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of numbers, you've got a few you'd like to share with us today.
Right, so we'll get it up on the board here and we'll talk about it. Just wanted to say that the nice thing is a continuing pattern of being really stable. And the impact of that is from not only a county but a statewide perspective. Taking a look at that says that even though we're seeing in other countries and stuff like that, here in California, with the vaccinations and the controls, our numbers are getting really good. So to the board, 43 cases. I mean, that's probably the lowest number that we've seen since we talked back in March of last year. Unfortunately, again, four fatalities, people passing away, but that number even is gone down and is staying closer to a lower number. 12,000 tests, 43 cases. So when we go to the next chart in a minute, we'll show how that impacts everything. And then obviously real positive, 116 in overall hospitalizations in Orange County. A very, very low number, and only 25 of those cases ICU. So again, steady movement in the positive direction, which is great for the county and great for us.
Right, excellent, excellent. And then Laguna Woods didn't really see any change, right? Right,
we're basically at our same number. We might have gone up 2. I think we went from 411 to 413, but that's again, those are total cases for the village since we've been calculating this. Again, our numbers are really, really low. So going to this chart that we always kind of focus on now, and how do we get to that next minimal tier? Well, as you can see, we're now at 2.6. That 43 number with 12,000 tests, that keeps trending like that, then that 2.6 is going to come down pretty quick. We just got to get to 2. And if we can get to 2, the other 2 categories, the positive test and the quartile test, are already in the next category. So we then would drop down into the very minimal. Again, I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, I was looking at, based on the trends, that we were probably talking about the first couple of weeks in May as that time frame. Drop into that last yellow category, and then of course the governor's goal is to get out of the categories at all come June.
Was there an announcement made this week?
Nothing new, other than that's still his goal of shooting for the 15th of June as to being out of these categories altogether for the state of California.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, I think this is very positive news, because then what that'll help our folks is that we'll be able to open up more things as we move along, which you've been doing. Right.
Once we go to the yellow category, it basically doubles the capacity. In a number of our activities where we were at 25%, it goes up to 50%.
Okay, great.
So if we were at 11, now we're at 22, that type of thing. So that will give more opportunity for people to engage back into some of our activities that we're doing. We probably won't be looking at the clubhouses for club activities and usage opening up until we get into the non-categorized area, what the governor's talking about on June 15th. If that happens in June 15th, Brian and I have been working on a program trying to look at when could we then look at getting our clubs back into operations. Probably would be July because of just the staffing, making sure we have the coordination, making sure we get all the noticing out there appropriately. So that's assuming, again, that the governor moves in June to accomplish that.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Brian here in the next week or so, and I'll have some additional questions from him, but I'll pose the question to you. Basically, a lot of people are looking forward to having certain types of group activities. I mean, the Woodstock that they didn't get to have last year, would that be something that they would have, not necessarily like they normally do in July, but maybe move it to the fall?
It's possible. I think that's what he's looking at. What kind of activities can we shift a little bit time-wise and continue to have and program for? I think that's what we'd like to do. And working with the groups and working with the the committees that we've had and stuff like that. It's critical to just be able to plan it, because you need that advanced planning. So if we can move something to the fall that we were going to have in June or July, then certainly we want to take a look at that.
That'd be great. I'm noticing that some of the venues out there that were kind of aiming for that time frame have now canceled, and now
Right.
they're moving them further out. So, I mean, it's certainly hopeful, and you're
Yeah.
going to have something to look forward to.
Exactly. And we're going to try to, as much as possible, get that advance notice out to people as soon as we know we can go,
Right.
and as soon as we can plan it appropriately.
Now, one thing we've been talking a lot about is ActiveNet, and lots of people do know how to use it, some don't, but of course there's a tutorial that they can use. What are you finding from the residents? Are they pretty much okay using ActiveNet, and the classes are going forward correctly?
I think it's a learning curve still, and the people that are very active on computer systems and use it all the time, or on the internet all the time, they seem to be adjusting really well to it, and we're pretty good at using it. Again, for those that don't use it all the time, then it's a repetitive thing that you have to kind of learn. That's where that tutorial is really good and helpful. But again, go to our website, just follow the instructions, and we'll get you there. And if you run into a problem, then call the recreation department directly, and they can help you get signed up.
Perfect, perfect. Now, there's another really cool thing that you're here to tell us about, and it was something that was on the news.
Yeah, it's just reported, and we got it up on the ABC reported, and now they have a location, website that you can go on, and you can actually put in your zip code, and they've been able to calculate, and I'm not sure where they're getting the backup data, but they've been able to pretty much give a projection of where the vaccination have happened in your zip code. So the level of vaccinations in your zip code. So you can go to the zip code here for Laguna Woods, and it shows that 74% of our residents in the zip code, based on this information, have been vaccinated. So that's just great. It's a high number. I mean, we're talking about the whole zip code, not just the village. So obviously the village takes that up.
The village takes it way up, because when I heard 74%, I thought, well, that seemed awfully low for us. But if you just took the village, folks, it's way higher.
I think our number would be over 80% probably.
I think so,
I think we do know that, when we did the vaccination, certainly our percentage that we did just at Clubhouse 7 was over 50%.
Right.
And in communication with all the people signing up for shots, saying, hey, we don't need the appointment any longer because we got it at SoCa, or we got it up the county in Anaheim, or wherever they may have received it. That's just good news. I think this will get more precise, and this information will get more updated as we see it. So I think we'll grow. If we get into the situation, and I think this is one of the keys that the governor's looking at too, is if we're in that 75% or greater in pretty much all the zip codes around the state of California, and our hospitalizations are continuing to trend low, then I think that gives him all the confidence in the world to say, hey, we can go back to the semi-normal world of opening up.
Well, right, because didn't they want for the whole nation, I thought it was like 70% or 60 plus, at least, to what they call herd immunity.
I think that's been a goal that they've been talking about, that 70%. I think obviously the higher percentage, the better you have that herd immunity. And I think that's where California's headed. It's done a really, really excellent job, I think, in getting these vaccinations out lately, especially because they opened up a new facility at the Great Park, which again, with the drive-through type of, which is going to just add that capacity. So I'm hoping that we continue to go back to see those numbers that we saw earlier, where we only have like 40-something cases and 12,000 people getting tested.
Yeah.
Because that's still important to, if you have a symptom or you're feeling not well or anything like that, get tested, make sure, because people are still getting the virus. The virus is out there, it's not going away.
No, it's not. I don't think it'll go away, really for quite some time. So hopefully we just don't have any more waves like we've been seeing, so.
And the need for, now with the vaccination and other things that are coming out, that we can address it so much in advance that we don't get people that are really sick. And that's really the goal.
And I mean, that was just such a new thing for everybody, so that's why we were all just sort of learning as we went along. So, all right, well, wonderful. Thank you for the information.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, we'll see you next week. All right, stay tuned. We'll have Elsie Addington with the United Update. We'll be right back.
2020 behind us, now is the perfect time to take care of all the things that you might not have been able to. Caliber Collision is just up the street from you, and we offer a lifetime warranty on all body and repair work for as long as you own your vehicle. And we offer free pickup and delivery for all our Laguna Woods customers. On or off the road, safety is very important to us, which is why we are following all COVID-19 guidelines. Caliber Collision, restoring the rhythm of your life.
Welcome back. Well, today I have a United update with Elsie Addington. Well, Elsie, thank you so much for joining us again.
Yeah, well, I just don't have anything else to do in the mornings except talk to you, which is a nice thing.
No, we know how much you like to be on TV.
Oh, yeah, right. You can tell I've spent hours on my makeup.
You're so funny.
Well, it just doesn't do any good, so why waste the resources?
Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Well, you've got some information about Manor alterations.
I do, Lisa. I'm here today on behalf of the United Board's Architectural and Control Standards Committee Chairman, Brian Gilmore. Mm-hmm. Only, well, never mind. I was going to make some wise remark about Brian Gilmore and me, but I won't. Brian had a scheduling mismatch and asked me to pass along an update on the busy world of Manor Alterations. The committee and the staff of Manor Alterations have been really busy as usual and are making great progress after the double down bad luck of the pandemic and then the October malware attack. Mm-hmm. Alterations was hit really bad by that.
Yeah.
Brian wanted to announce the following 4 items. Are you ready, Lisa?
Oh, ready.
Okay. First, the Manor Alterations bi-weekly news bulletin. I'm sure that's first on everybody's list. It's soon to be posting its 4th edition because March 15th, March 31st, and April 15th have already been issued. And the newsletter has 3 sections: contractors, realtors, and members. Mm-hmm. Interested residents should read all 3 sections. It will help you to learn the requirements of alterations before you get into the project, as well as current updates for procedures. The Alterations Committee, and it's got links and everything. It's just a wonderful newsletter.
It's great.
The Alterations Committee saw the need for it. Manor Alterations personnel put it together, and the VMS Media and Communication Department published it, both to residents' emails and to the Laguna Woods Village website. A great job was done. It was a collaborative effort, and it was done pretty quickly and done very well. So I think. So I heartily involved folks. A great job was done by all involved, and the newsletter can be located on the website as follows. First of all, we go to residents on the website and hover there, and then click on Manor Alterations. Then scroll to the bottom of the 2nd column of orange banners and click. The current and past issues are available there.
Got it.
So if anybody wants to write that down, I mean, if you're interested, it's really a good resource to find out when the changes are made, if rules change. That's one of the complaints we get is we didn't know the rules changed, and you're right, we get it, and we do tend to change rules periodically. So this is a good place to learn about rule changes.
Okay.
So my second thing is the permitless alteration process. And this is the one where it's like for like, and no cutting into walls, no cutting into floors, no disturbing the ceiling. Okay, this is just the permitless alteration process. Mm-hmm. We estimate that about 35 people have taken advantage of this probationary program, and that represents a proportional workload reduction in the Manor Alterations office of about 30% for this type of request. So in other words, if we went through the old process and now compare it to this new permitless process, for those qualifying alterations, the workload is for that, just for those alterations is down about 30%, which is awesome.
Yeah,
isn't it? I don't mean it's 35% for the whole unit for everything they do, but for this portion of their workload. So far it's been very successful.
Great.
This is a trial program. So if you see any needed adjustments, please let us know. Also, if you like it, please let us know. You may contact Alterations at vmsinc.org. It's alterations@vmsinc.org. That was exciting, yeah?
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question regarding that. So for instance, those people who took advantage of that, they basically didn't need a permit. So they were able to do, like you said, a like for like. So what has the outcome been? So, I mean, obviously, is there an end approval process? So once they've made that alteration, you send someone out to make sure it's exactly what they said it was going to be?
Actually, no. So I know nobody would ever want to cheat on something like this, but when it comes time to sell your manor, the truth will out. In other words, if any illegal alterations were made, in order to do this permitless process, you have to send in before and after pictures.
Oh,
so you take a picture of your old washing machine, or no, not washing machine, that's a bad example, your old dishwasher, and then put in your new dishwasher, take a picture of it and send it with the completed form, and that's all you do.
I see.
And then if there are, I can't think of a ready example, but in this like for like exchange business, our caveat, of course, is if there's a city permit that's necessary, that's on the, because we don't do codes here in the village. We just go by our mutual directives. So
Gotcha.
if there are any city permits required, that's on, but I can't think of a good example, and that's on the if there are in fact any, because like for like is like for like, right?
Right.
So we're just eliminating that first step of the process. So hopefully as the word spreads, more and more people will try. And for information, again, they can go to the alterations@vmsinc.org, or they can call resident services, or they can call the alterations desk.
Okay, perfect.
I'm glad you like that. I like that. That was
Good.
That
That's
was
all
a
good.
little success. Yeah, it's for 6 months, so we're hoping if everything goes well, we'll make it permanent.
Yeah, well, as long as everybody sends in their before and after pictures and it all gels, then it shouldn't be a problem, right?
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
So far, so good. We'll see.
Hey, all right, good. Is that all you've got for us?
Well, no, I've got a couple of quickies. Third, asbestos is in our buildings and virtually all older buildings, as everyone should know, and not just in California. Okay, it's all over the country. And millions of people still die globally from exposure to asbestos, from either complications of asbestosis or from mesothelioma. I don't pronounce that right, and I'm very sorry. I just lost a pretty good friend to that here in the village.
Oh, wow.
So it's a real thing. Granted, it's long term, but it's serious.
Okay.
So anyway, the Alterations Committee, maintenance and VMS's maintenance and construction, mutual presidents, and VMS representatives will be meeting with the local regulatory district to learn more details on how asbestos should be managed during renovation. There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people, most of them from out of state, frankly, think that we shouldn't have to be as careful with the asbestos process as we are. Mm-hmm. And everybody's entitled to their opinion, for sure. So they're going to have this big meeting and go to the horse's mouth, as it were, because AQMD and OSHA are the two main drivers. That's federal and also Cal OSHA. So federal and state, which of course trumps mutual rules all the time, right? We could say everybody can just do whatever they want. They can eat asbestos on their cereal if they want, but the federal and state law would supersede that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So meanwhile, residents should be very careful not to cut into walls, ceiling, and flooring, which will release friable asbestos. Are you familiar with that term, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Friable. It just means it's you can breathe it in, basically. So as long as it's encapsulated or quiet, it's minding its own little business in our wallboards and on our ceilings, wherever, it's fine. But when you agitate it, it becomes friable. I like that term. And that can be very dangerous if it's not handled appropriately. So if there's any suspicion, you need to talk to professional companies.
Okay.
Anyway, and finally, this is the last thing. Please recall that there was a 6-month moratorium on variance requests in United Mutual, the moratorium began on April the 9th. The moratorium was called to help Manor Alterations get caught up without adding additional staff and therefore increasing our monthly assessments. Please be patient and consider during this time to carefully design your alteration preferences and conduct due diligence in finding a contractor. Because those are really the two big problems. People say, oh, I want to do this. And it's really not practical. And then they change their minds about 4 or 5 times or even twice. And it really extends the process. So if you know just what you want and you have a good contractor, when the moratorium's over, it should move right along. And that's about it, Lisa.
All right. Well, that was a great review. Thank you so much for the update.
Thank you so much for having me, as usual.
All right. We'll be right back after this. My favorites is going to be playing today, and it's The Producers, and you can watch that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Good laughs. All right, and that was brought to you by Hogue. Let's take a look at our weather. It is looking quite warm the next couple of days. Then we start a little bit of a cool down. We can go with 87-59 today, 76-56. 70-55, and then Monday 75-56 and 79-62. So all pretty nice. If you're traveling in California, take a look at our local numbers here. The beaches are 63-58, pretty much the same throughout all of the coast. And then if you go up to the High Sierras, 62-35, Big Bear 65-37, Mammoth 67-30, and Palm Springs 94-65. Have a great weekend. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Welcome back. 7-8 Dental is making a difference. Doctor, please tell us about how you're helping parents and children. Mom.
We know preventive dentistry is the key. Starting now, all children 15 years and younger will receive a free dental exam. If work is needed on your children, we will use our resources to help find funding.
Thank you, doctor. Okay, parents, give your child the 7-8 Dental smile.
Tip, toss, take action. Don't give mosquitoes a fighting chance. Don't give mosquitoes a fighting chance.